the heartbreaking toll of conflict. As 2 hostage bodies are identified, Gaza's lifeline stays shut. Imagine the raw grief of families waiting for closure on loved ones lost in a brutal attack. Now picture the fragile peace teetering on the brink. That's the stark reality unfolding in the Israel-Gaza saga, where hope and suspicion clash daily. But here's where it gets controversial. Could this be a turning point, or just another layer in a deeper web of mistrust? Let's dive in and unpack the latest developments step by step, so even newcomers to this complex region can follow along. In a somber announcement from Tel Aviv on Sunday morning, Israeli officials confirmed the identities of 2 hostages whose remains were delivered to the Red Cross the previous night by Hamas. The victims were Ronen Engel, a devoted father of 3 hailing from kibbutz Nir Oz, and Sonthaya Oakkharasri, a Thai worker who tended the land at kibbutz Be'eri. Both are believed to have perished during the devastating Hamas-led assault on October 7th, with their bodies subsequently taken into Gaza. Tragically, Engel's wife Karina and 2 of their children were among those abducted that day, only to be freed during a temporary ceasefire back in November 2023. This handover marks a small but significant step in the ongoing exchange process, yet it underscores the human cost of a conflict that's dragged on for nearly 2 years. Meanwhile, tensions remain high as Israel vows to keep the Rafah border crossing connecting Gaza to Egypt sealed off indefinitely. According to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office, the gate won't swing open again until Hamas fully upholds its end of the ceasefire bargain by repatriating the remains of all 28 deceased hostages. To date, Hamas has transferred 13 sets of remains, with 12 positively identified as belonging to hostages. One delivered body, however, turned out not to be from a captive, highlighting the delicate dance of verification in these negotiations. These exchanges, alongside crucial aid shipments into Gaza and plans for the territory's future administration, form the backbone of the ceasefire that kicked in on October 10th, aiming to halt the relentless cycle of violence. The Rafah crossing, a choke point for hope and travel. Let's take a moment to clarify why Rafah matters so much. It's not just a border, it's a lifeline. Before the war escalated, this was the sole crossing not under Israeli control, serving as a vital artery for Palestinians. People rely on it to access medical care that might save lives, to reunite with family members scattered across Egypt, where tens of thousands of Palestinians have roots, or simply to move about freely in a region fraught with restrictions. Since May 2024, when Israel seized control of Gaza's side, the crossing has been locked down tight. Imagine the frustration of families separated by conflict. Rafah's closure amplifies that isolation, making everyday needs feel like insurmountable barriers. And this is the part most people miss. Reopening it fully could ease humanitarian pressures, but only if trust is rebuilt on all sides. On Sunday, the Palestinian Authority's Interior Ministry in Ramallah laid out new protocols to streamline travel through Rafah. For Palestinians eager to exit Gaza, embassy staff from Cairo will be on site to issue short-term travel documents granting entry into Egypt, a practical step to cut red tape. Those wanting to enter Gaza, meanwhile, must apply at the embassy in Cairo for the necessary permits. These measures hint at a glimmer of normalcy, but they're overshadowed by the broader turmoil. The war has claimed over 68,000 Palestinian lives, as tallied by Gaza's health ministry, which operates under Hamas. Independent experts and UN agencies generally view these figures as credible snapshots of the wartime death toll, though Israel challenges them without offering its own estimates. Compounding the tragedy, the Red Cross reports thousands more are unaccounted for. In contrast, the Hamas offensive on October 7th resulted in around 1,200 deaths, predominantly civilians, and the abduction of 251 individuals, igniting the ensuing conflict. Ceasefire talks heat up, accusations fly as Phase 2 looms. As if the hostage returns weren't fraught enough, both sides are pointing fingers over ceasefire breaches. Israel reported that Hamas fighters fired on troops in Rafah's southern areas within the agreed demarcation lines. No casualties this time, but a clear provocation. Hamas and Israel have been trading blame back and forth, each accusing the other of undermining this tenuous truce. And here's where it gets controversial. In a world of he said, she said, who do you trust when both parties have vested interests in portraying themselves as the victim? Shifting gears, Hamas announced that negotiations for the ceasefire's second phase have officially kicked off, mediated by external parties. This initiative, inspired by U.S. President Donald Trump's blueprint, envisions bold steps like dismantling Hamas's military capabilities and establishing an international oversight body to govern the battered Gaza Strip. Hamas spokesperson Hazem Qassem emphasized in a late Saturday statement that these talks demand national consensus and that the group is consolidating its stance, though details remain scarce. Crucially, Qassem made it clear Hamas won't participate in any ruling authority post-war, citing the need to prevent a dangerous power vacuum. For now, Hamas-administered agencies in Gaza are handling daily operations, as Qassem urged the swift formation of a community support committee comprising Palestinian technical experts to manage affairs. A bold denial and accusations, Hamas pushes back against U.S. claims. Tensions escalated further when Hamas rejected a U.S. State Department allegation of an impending Hamas attack on Gaza residents, calling it baseless propaganda. The U.S. had warned of credible reports of such a plot, deeming it a severe breach of the ceasefire that could derail hard-won mediation gains. But here's the twist that sparks debate. Hamas turned the tables, accusing Israel of backing armed factions in Israeli-occupied zones, providing them refuge and enabling lawlessness. They appealed to the U.S. to pressure Israel to rein in these groups. This claim isn't isolated. Hamas militants have clashed with at least two such entities in eastern Gaza City, which Hamas alleges are looting aid and aligning with Israeli forces. In a move widely criticized, Hamas executed several suspects publicly, a tactic condemned as extrajudicial killings. Meanwhile, Gaza's Interior Ministry, under Hamas, claims its security efforts are restoring order in areas vacated by Israeli troops after the ceasefire. As we wrap up, this situation forces us to confront uncomfortable truths. Is the path to lasting peace paved with mutual disarmament and international governance? Or does it require something more radical? Do you side with Hamas on their accusations against Israel, or do the U.S. reports sway you? What about the executions? Necessary enforcement or a step too far? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's discuss openly and respectfully. After all, in a conflict this layered, no single viewpoint holds all the answers.